it's Michelle, and today I've got for you a mat Pilates workout using the fitness circle or magic ring or whatever you want to call it. So go ahead and grab yours if you've got one, and we're going to start seated on our mat. Okay, so we're going to get warmed up through our abdominals and our spine and get our breathing going a little bit. So sit with your legs outstretched in front of you. They can be all the way straight or softened a little bit, whatever is more comfortable for you. Have them a little wider than hip width apart, and you want to be able to stack your ring kind of right between your two legs. Okay, so you're going to stack your hands right on top, kind of one over the other. Your arms should be kind of softly straight, and then heels of the hands should be able to be comfortably on the top pad of the ring. Okay, so take a breath in, feel nice and tall. And then as you exhale, you're just going to make some pressure down onto that ring with your hands. And then as you inhale, you're going to let that pressure go. Yeah, so simple movement, but you should really be able to start to feel this in your abdominals. Ooh, the more we do, I'm feeling it already, yeah? So feel like you're doing this with your back up against a wall. So as my arms press down, I'm not rounding. My head isn't going forward. I'm totally keeping that length through my spine. Okay, and the harder I breathe out, the deeper this press should get on the ring. So those two things are correlated. Yeah? All right, so now we're going to start to add some little tiny pulses. So press down as deeply as you can. Now release the ring about halfway and then do 3 tiny little pulses as you exhale, 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 and then inhale, fully let the ring reinflate. And then we'll do that again. Exhaling to press down. Inhale, release a little bit, and then pulse and let it go. Good. Do that one last time. Let these breaths help to kind of deepen this ab connection. 2, 1, and then come all the way up. Okay, now we're going to add flexion of the spine. Elbows are going to soften a little bit so the ring can stay upright. Okay, so breathing in. Exhale, let the elbows flex as my spine rounds forward. Now really feel those abdominals doing the pushing on the ring. And then inhale, sit fully back up. Yeah, exhale. The depth of your breath goes together with that press on the ring. And then let it go. Good. Do that 2 more times. You want to feel like your pelvis stays upright and your back is getting round. So we're not flattening forward over the legs. Now let's stay down this time. We're going to do those pulses, but more from our abdominals. So release halfway on the ring and then pulse from your core for 3. Use your spine to get flexed more. 2, 1, and then inhale, come all the way up. Good, let's do that again. Exhale, press as far as you can, let it go a little bit, and then deepen for 3. Exhale, 2, 1, and then come all the way up. Oh, okay, one more time. Flexing down, make sure the shoulders aren't holding on to any extra tension, and then come all the way up tall. Okay, so now we're going to do some rocking of the ring. Keeping it stable though. So we're going to press down just like we did. Flex the spine, let your elbows soften. Now keep the tension on it, but can you just rock the ring away from you a little bit and then back towards you? Rock away a little bit and then return. So you keep your flexion. You should feel this on the backs of the arms. Your abs are maintaining that rounded back. Now get the ring back to upright. Press it a little bit more and then stack your spine up. Good. Let's do that one more time. Let's maybe switch which hand is stacked on top. It's a little too late. We should have done it sooner, but doesn't hurt to do it now. Switch hands just so we're not too lopsided. So we press down, hold it here, and then do your rocks. Open and pull. So your arms don't necessarily need to get all the way straight, just a little bit in either direction. Now restack your ring, press from those abdominals, and then come back up tall. Whew. All right, so now let's sit mermaid style on your mat. So legs kind of in an S shape with one foot front and one foot pointing back. So now we're going to go into kind of a mermaid stretch with the ring, okay? So stack the ring up on one end, just like we had it in the last exercise, except now just one hand is going to be on top of the ring, okay? You might need to move kind of where it's placed once you get a feel for it. But again, arm outstretched, hand on top. Okay, my other arm's gonna reach out to the side. I'm gonna take a breath in and just float this arm to the ceiling. Now as I exhale, let the elbows soften, and I'm gonna use these muscles on that bottom side to press into the ring. Inhale to come up tall, and then exhale, let the arm float back down. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, grow up to the ceiling. Exhale, feel under this bottom arm and shoulder engage. Inhale, let the pressure on the ring go, and then drop the arm. Good. All right. Now this time, press down and hold. We're going to do those same rocks that we did a minute ago. So pushing and pulling on the ring. You're going to feel under this armpit like crazy. Yeah, and you're having to hold your own body in this position because we're kind of losing some of the help from the ring. Now restack it, push a little harder, and then come back upright. Whew. Okay, one more time. Up and over, press down. Good. Now your abs and your obliques have to hold your body here a little longer. 2, 1, upright, press, and then come up. Whew. Very nice. All right, one last little stretch and then we'll switch sides. So no rocking, but get back into that same side bend. Now just maintain this pressure with your bottom arm. You're going to rotate this top arm like that shoulder is trying to look at the floor, face back front, and then sit up tall. 2 more times. We're getting that side bend, and then we're flexing and rotating. Pull the abs away from that forward leg, and then come up. Do that one last time. Now make sure you're not relying on the ring too much. The ring shouldn't feel like it's about to snap with all of our weight on it. We've got most of the weight in our legs, less on that arm. Okay? All right, so switch which leg is front. Good. You can modify this sitting position if you need to, leg out, or maybe even crisscross the legs, just depending on how that feels for you, okay? So here we go. Hand is set up a little forward of the shoulder, other arm reaches. Try to settle onto both sits bones. Inhale and float the arm. Exhale, just a pure side bend on this one. Inhale, and then exhale. Good. So we're just kind of laying the groundwork for all the layers we're going to add on to this. Yeah? And as with all of what we do here, as we layer more and more on, there's no pressure to do the hardest layers. You can always revert back to one that works for you, okay? Now get over there and stay and do your little rocks. Really feel that elbow driving down to the hip. One more time. Get your ring upright, push a little more, and then come up. Good. One more time with this rocking version. Push and pull. Yeah, my elbow doesn't get all the way straight. I'd probably tip over if my elbow got fully straight. So just a small range. Use that bottom side of the waist to push and then come up. Good. All right, now adding the rotations, one of my favorite movements, this twist and flex. It feels so good in that spine. So here we go. As I exhale, we're going to flex over. Now, rotate, draw the abs away from the floor. Pinky finger sees the ground in front of your mat. Side bend and come up. Good. 2 more times. Up and over. Rotate and pull the belly button back. And then restack. One more time. Good. If you notice you're relying on that ring too much, you can move it a little further from you, and that will help. And then come on up. So good. All right, so now we should be feeling nice and ready to move on to some bigger things here. So we're going to put the ring around our legs. So slip your feet through it. Place either pad just above your knees on the outside of both legs. Okay? All right, so the ring's going to give us some nice feedback for our outer thighs. Yes? So we're going to reach our arms forward. Try to sit right atop your sits bones. Now start by rounding over your legs. And again, don't flatten. You'll know because your chest will hit the ring. That's not what we want. You want to pull your abs back so we have some opposition through the torso. Okay? So shoulders are down. Take a breath in. All that's going to happen is we're going to push into the ring with our knees, and then we're going to let it go. Okay, so it's not even going to look like I'm doing very much, but you'll definitely feel it. So as you breathe out, feel those abdominals gently compress around your spine as you push into the ring. Yeah, so feel those 2 muscle groups going at the same time. Abdominals to blow the air out, and then outer thighs to put that tension into the ring. All right, now press into the ring, keep that tension. We're gonna roll away from the legs without letting that press go. Come back forward, and then you can release the press of the knees. Yeah, so we get a little break every time. So here we go, press into the ring. Now as I exhale, we're gonna roll back, leave the feet in contact with the floor, come forward, and then release. Do that a few more times. We press, you maintain that pressure on the ring as you go back and front, and then you can let it go. Okay, one more time. Make sure the shoulders aren't overly creeping up into the ears, and then release. Okay, next we're going to try to maintain that press to the sides a little bit longer. Okay, so start in that same place. Find your pressure side to side with your knees. Now we're going to go back in 3 pieces. So I'm going to roll back a third of the way, 2/3 of the way. Your deepest rollback, if that's your low back on the floor, great. And then take one big movement to come up. Now keep the pressure still. Go back for 3. Little movements, 2, 1, and then inhale, come back forward. Okay, so you're going in thirds of your maximum depth. That might be small, that might be a huge range. Just kind of determine that for yourself. Yeah, no shoulder blades touching though. The furthest I want you to go would be like your low back on the floor. Okay, now pause at the top, relax your legs for a second, and now we're going to reverse that. So we're going to go down in 1, up in 3. Okay, so here we go. Press out on the ring. One big inhale, go as far as you can go. One fell swoop, and then come up a third, 2/3, all the way back over the legs. Good, we'll do that 3 more times. One big movement, and then 3 micro lifts. Good, 2 more times. Inhale back, up for 2, 1. One last time, roll back, and then 3 little movements holding in between. Hold, hold. Now just roll down to your back as slowly as you can, pressing out into the ring the whole time, and then reach your arms back behind you. So good. All right, now we're gonna stay on the floor. We're gonna go into some hip rolls, leave the ring where it is. Feet are gonna go flat on the floor, arms by your sides. Okay, let's put a gentle little press out with the knees, and then just take a few little rocks of your pelvis. Yeah, so our glutes on the sides of our legs are pressing out, and then really think about your abdominals doing most of the work to tuck the pelvis here. Okay, so now that we've got that rocking motion, we're going to use it to roll our spine off the mat. So I push into the ring even harder. I use the backs of my legs to push up and open this hip joint. Take a breath in, and then exhale. Try to lengthen your spine out along the mat, and then find your neutral. Good. You can relax onto the ring at the bottom. Repress out with the knees as you roll up. Press into those hands, and then soften down. All right, now this time we're going to add on. So as you roll up to the top, I want you to end up with your heels lifted, drop them back down, and then roll back to the floor. Yeah, do that again. So I find neutral at the bottom every time, tuck under, find your bridge. You're going to lift and lower both of your heels, keeping that side to side tension, and then roll through. Good, let's do that 2 more times. Lift and lower, and then roll through. All right, now this time, let's roll up there and stay. Feel like you're dragging your heels towards you on the mat. Okay, now just your heels up and down. Try to maintain this lift of your glutes. So when your heels drop, the height of your glutes shouldn't go down anymore. 3, 2. Now pause with your heels up. This time, when our heels drop, I want you to drop your tail just to a hover. It can get as close to the mat as you'd like. Just don't touch the floor. Now pop your heels up and come back to your high bridge. Heels go down as my hips lower, up on the lift. Yeah, so coordinate those 2 things together. Drop and lower, lift and raise. Yes, let's do 4 more times. Now try not to touch the floor with your tail. Last 2. Last 1. Pause at the top. Place your heels down and then roll through your spine and relax. Whew. All right, one last thing with the ring around our knees, and then we'll move it on somewhere else. So now take your arms out to a T with your palms flat on the floor. Now I have a wall here, so mine won't be perfectly straight, but your arms will be straight, palms are down. Okay, so imprint your spine. So go to that slight tuck that we found. Lift your legs up to tabletop. Now this actually feels really nice with the ring because your legs kind of stay in this relationship with each other. Okay, so here we go. I want you to inhale, keep your imprinted spine. Your opposite hip can leave the floor a little bit and your tabletop is going to drift to one side. Now use your obliques, those abdominals, to pull your spine back to center, and then go to the other side. So it's like your bottom leg kind of pulls the top leg along with, and then you come back. Okay, so now this range will be different for everyone. Yeah, you don't want to arch your lumbar spine as you tip side to side. So really keep that tucked under feeling. Good. A few more times. Try to leave your opposite shoulder down onto the mat, and then return. Good. Let's do that one more time, and then we're going to add on a little bit. Okay. All right. So now, once your legs tip to one side, I want you to pause, hold them there, leave your thighs where they are, and just extend your knees so your shins match your thighs. Bend, and then come back to the center. Good. Other way. Inhale as I tip. Exhale to straighten. Inhale to bend. Exhale, feel your belly button pull to the floor. Okay, a few more times. As you get more confident, feel free to try taking your legs a little further in that twist. Okay, let's try one more time. And then surprise, surprise, we're going to add on. Okay, so now again, if what we do next doesn't work, go back to what we just did previously. So now we tip to one side. Straight, as we straighten our legs, I'm going to take my back arm. So for me, my legs are to the right. I'm going to take my left arm up and off the floor to try to reach towards my feet. Now my bottom shoulder is still down, so just my back shoulder blade comes off. And then as I bend my knees, I lay back down and then I rotate back to center. Ooh, it's kind of fun to try. So now go the other way. Tip your legs as they straighten, nod your chin, arc your arm up and over, so hip and shoulder are off the floor, and then lower down. So that's a pretty precarious position. Keep giving that a try. Nod your chin. You really post onto this bottom arm, and then return. Okay, one more time. Extend, nod, and reach. Yes, and then come down and rest. Whew. All right, the final layer is going to be to come up on your bottom hand, okay? Just give it a try. It's fun to try, and then you can adjust accordingly. All right, so here we go. Inhale, tip. Exhale, arms and legs come off. See if you can roll up onto your hand, and then bend to lower. Spiral back to the floor. Good, other side. Twist, reach. If your hand has to slide towards you on the floor, that is totally fine. Okay, couple more times. Woo, either slide it or just extend your elbow to leave the floor and then return. Oh, okay, let's do that 3 more times. Nod and lift and then return. Yeah, just give it a try. Kind of see where you end up on your hand and your hip and then lower. Whew, last time. Curl and reach and then come all the way down. Whew. That was kind of fun. Yeah, it's kind of fun to see those interesting positions we find. All right, take your ring off your legs. We'll do one last thing down here on our back, okay? So hold your ring like a steering wheel. So one pad in either hand. Feet are flat on the floor. Now just rest your elbows on the ground. You're also welcome to hover your elbows. It's kind of a lot more work for your shoulder, but you just decide, either elbows down or elbows up. Okay, ribs are heavy. Take a breath in, spine is neutral. Now lift one leg to tabletop. As you do that, I want you to just give the ring a gentle squeeze with both hands and then inhale to release. Yeah, so coordinate the squeeze with the lift and then lower. Good, a few more times. So whether or not your elbows are down, you're gonna be feeling this in your backs and shoulders right across the front of your chest. Yeah, now make sure that squeeze on the ring doesn't cause your shoulders to hollow up. Yeah, we want to activate those muscles while keeping the collarbones wide. All right, now float one leg up, keep the squeeze on the ring, float the other one up to meet it. That's more ab work. Set one foot back down. When the second foot touches, release the pressure with the hands. Do that again. Squeeze, pick one leg up, Pick the other one up. Try not to let it affect your spine. Touch down and then release. Yeah? A few more times. It really doesn't matter which foot goes first, on the way up or on the way down, just whatever feels natural. Okay, this next time, you're gonna leave the legs in tabletop. Release the pressure on the ring. Okay, now when we squeeze with our hands, this time we're gonna straighten one leg forward, release the pressure, and come back. So one squeeze, one release as the legs go out and in. Yes, now again, you're welcome to have your elbows off. That is gonna get a lot more tiring, a lot faster. So no pressure to be there. I'm kind of liking elbows on the ground. Yeah, if you need to be imprinted, if that feels better for you, totally fine. All right, so now let's start to add on when we squeeze the ring. Let's also reach the ring to the sky and then release and bring it back. Yeah? And then return. So head is still on the mat, which is tricky. Whew, you're gonna feel this a little deeper down low or in your abdominals, keeping the head down. Okay, now next layer to add on is we're gonna nod the chin, flex our spine, continue the arm reach in the same spot. So still up to the ceiling and then touch back down. Other side. Nod the chin, feel those shoulder blades peeling away from your spine and then come down. Yeah, it's like somebody's up above you grabbing the ring and pulling you up and then return. Okay, let's do that 2 more times. On your next one, hold up there and stay and just switch your legs. 10, 9, if it's too much, come down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, tabletop and reach a little higher and then come all the way down. Oh, so good, you guys. Okay, come on up. We are going to move to a little series I happen to love very much. So we're going to come on all fours. Okay, so we're going to rest the ring out on one end, right? This should kind of look familiar. So let's do it under our right hand first if you'd like. That's what I'm going to do at least. So kind of line up the pad of the ring with your right shoulder. Okay, now again, you don't want to be relying on the ring to hold you up. So you want almost all your weight in your legs, like 70-30 or 60-40 or 80-20, something more in your legs than in your arm. Okay, so it should be able to be fully straight. All right, so now you're gonna have your feet on the floor, your other hand underneath your shoulder, okay? Now just take a breath in to get ready, draw your ribs up. As you exhale, just do a really gentle press onto the ring and then let it go, okay? Adjust the position if you need to. You should feel like you're able to kind of plug your shoulder in and down a little bit, okay? So we don't wanna be so stretched that our shoulder blade is flying way up. Kind of level the two out side to side. All right, so now press on the ring gently, just like we did in our warm-ups. Start to rock your ring back and forward just a little bit. So go from that straight arm to a bent arm, just enough to tip the ring off of its axis a little bit. All right, now option here, if you'd like, when your elbow bends, flex your spine into a cat stretch. Feel those abdominals drawing up and then reach back to neutral. Do that again. Exhale, pull with the arm and then lengthen back out. So good. A few more times. Keep the pressure on the ring. Last 2. And then last one, pressing down as you scoop up and then relax. Whew, good. All right, check in that your weight is still back over your knees. Now, take one leg, or it's going to be your left leg, so opposite arm, opposite leg as the arm on the ring. Okay, you're going to set your toes on the mat behind you. Now, all we're going to do is put a little pressure on the ring and start rocking your ankle. Oh, and you'll notice the ring comes rocking with you as well, but this time your elbow should be able to stay pretty well long. Okay, so just rock back and forth. Feel those abdominals supporting you in this position. It's a little precarious, right? Because we've got one hip and one shoulder without a support directly underneath it. Okay, now let's get back so your ring is straight up and down. Release the pressure. Now press back down on it. As you do that, just kind of like a teeter-totter, you're going to push and let your back leg float up and then release. Not a teeter-totter. It's almost more like almost at the fair or something when you smack down on that thing with a hammer and then the little lever or the meter goes boop and goes up, right? So these two things are related, the press with the arm and the lift of the leg. Okay, let's do that 2 more times. Really glide the shoulder blade of that supporting arm away from your spine. All right, now lift up and stay. Keep the press with your front hand, and you're just gonna bend and kick with that leg in and then out. So it's gonna hover off the mat and kick back. Okay, our final thing here is if you'd like, you can bring back that spinal flexion. Your elbow will bend, your nose will get towards your knee, and then you'll kick it back out. Do that again, bend and round. Slow it down as much as you need to feel that position, and then reach. Last one. Okay, final thing here, reach long, and now just 10 little pulses with your back leg. If you want to also pulse on the ring, 5, 4, you can, 3, 2, 1, and then set yourself down. Ooh. Hey, you guys, let's do that all on the other side. Okay, I'm going to turn around. I don't know why, but I'm going to. You don't have to. So set your new hand up on your ring, arm in line with your shoulder. Okay, here we go. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Breathe out and find a long, gentle press, and then let it go. Good. Exhale, and then release. Good. You really want to feel that shoulder plugging back and down before you press. Okay. All right, now press down and hold. Start rocking the ring. So the arm will go from straight to bent, tucking that elbow in and down. Okay, if and when you're ready, it's optional. You're gonna flex the spine when your elbow bends, lengthen as the arm extends. Yeah, so spine and elbow, these are the two related parts going together. Yeah, push the feet and the hands that are on the floor down. Wow, there's only one hand, huh? Feet and hand, and then out. Last one. Okay, so good. All right, now take your opposite leg of the arm that's on the ring. So for me, that is my right leg. Ball of the foot onto the floor. This other foot can be tucked or down, whatever feels better to you. So now start to rock with that heel back and forth. Yeah, you might get a little bit of a calf stretch at the back end. Yeah, the possibility here is for our hip to kind of rotate and droop since we've lost the leg underneath us. So really compensate with those abdominals, with your obliques. All right, get the ring straight up and down. Release the pressure for a second. Now, press with your hand. As you do that, your back leg floats and then reverse to lower. Yes, exhale. The harder you press with the arm, the higher the leg can go. Ooh, a few more times. Good. Now make sure the low back isn't collapsing. You want to move from your hip, engaging the back of the thigh and the glutes. All right, now pause. Keep the pressure on the ring. You're going to bend and stretch your up high leg. Okay, hopefully the back of your pelvis is nice and level. All right, okay, here's our add-on. Flex the spine, bend the elbow as your knee comes in, and then lengthen back out. Spine draws up to give that leg lots of room to scoot under. So good. Last time. Now you're going to hold that long position and start pulsing with your back leg. If you'd like, also pulse on the ring for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come all the way down. Whew. Awesome. Okay, we're going to finish up with a little stretch and cool down and call it a day. So come onto your knees, holding your ring. Step your right foot forward, let's say. That's what I'm going to do. So you're standing on one foot in front of you, other knee is on the mat. Okay, reach your arms up to the ceiling, holding your ring, a little drawing down of your ribs. Now, I'm going to squeeze the ring, bend my elbows, tip the ring behind my head, and lean my weight into my front leg. And then I'm going to reverse that, extend the arm, and rock back. Yeah, keep your elbows narrow. The tighter you squeeze the ring, the more you'll feel that in the shoulders. Okay, so if you're done and just want to be stretching, then you don't have to squeeze the ring very much. If you want to feel that shoulder stability, give it a nice pinch from both sides. Okay, do that one more time. Think short abs, long thigh. All right, now reach the ring to the ceiling. I want you to flex your front foot, straighten it, lean your weight back to your bottom heel, and take a little hamstring stretch. You can round your spine, and then we're going to sit back up and go to that thigh stretch with the ring behind. So go back and forth between the two. Fold forward, and then stretch up and back. Yeah, you can even get a little extra lift from your heart looking up, get a little back extension. Whew, if that feels good. One more time. All right, now stay in that hamstring stretch. Turn the ring up on its end so you can set your hands on it and kind of settle down here. If this doesn't feel good on your bottom knee, you're welcome to sit all the way down and do kind of like a tree pose with your heel against your inner thigh. Okay, that is totally an option. All right, now bring yourself up. You can use the ring, and then we'll switch sides. Okay, here we go. New foot forward, ring to the ceiling. Now, if all that happens is that the ribs jut forward, we're going to lose this stretch. See how this gets an angle in it this way? Whereas if we draw the ribs back and think hip forward, see how this opens up? That's what we want. And then return. Yeah, I like to think of like if you had a rubber band running from your shoulder to your knee, what would make that be the most stretched, right? If I went like this, the two ends of my rubber band get closer together. No, so that's less stretch. Whereas if I go here, those two ends get further apart. You can almost imagine it kind of pulling all the way, yeah? So that rubber band, just your hip flexors, right? Okay, now lean back, hip to heel, fold over that leg, and you just go as far as you'd like. If you want to hover here, that's still going to be a great stretch. Okay, if that much range is available, you sit down to your heel. Do that a few more times. If you find you already need the ring to help you, you can totally set it down and just rock forward and back here. Okay, one last time. Stay in whatever stretch is your depth, whether that's here, whether that's down. If you need to come off your foot and sit on your hips, you do that. Good. Try to just release the weight of your head towards the floor. All right. Help yourself to come on up. And that's all. We did it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed that, please give it a like, a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below if you have any suggestions for future videos. And please pass this along to a friend who you think would love it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.